Let's do this. Let's do this. Welcome back to New Year's stream. I'm going to hydrate again because I'm going to be talking probably a lot. So here we go. Changing over. I think I probably need to shift because I know that the Switch comes through a lot quieter than the GameCube does. So I'm gonna raise that up a little bit so you can hear the game a little bit better. I stepped away for a moment, heard the music from this game mixing with the sticks I was listening to, so it felt a bit odd. I hope was it a good mashup or no? Alright, here we go. Episode 1, Turnabout Memories. Das Mia! I wonder who the like girl with the parasol is. That's interesting. And Phoenix with a pendant? I don't know. Interesting. Okay, here we go. Play Turnabout Memories? Yes. How did I get into this mess? Hi Zippy. Hi Christy. Happy New Year. Why? Why did I do that? Who's that? That girl. You shouldn't see her anymore. Hey, it's none of your business. I'm telling you for your sake, if you continue to see her, it's going to be bad news. You're lying. Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl. Stop it. Don't talk about her like that. He kind of looks like Kyo from Fruits Basket. Wow, look at that sweater. It wasn't me. I didn't... Did Phoenix kill somebody in the past? I didn't do it. "5 years earlier, Mia Fey, second trial. April 11th, 9:40 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Oh, it's finally time. Am I playing as Mia instead of Phoenix? That's cool, if so. I'm kind of nervous. Oh, Mr. Grossberg, good morning. Ah, Mia, please calm yourself down. You're going to get yourself arrested for suspicious behavior, you know. What are you talking about? I'm relaxed, Mr. Grossberg. Look at me, I'm relaxed. Let go of my lapels. You obviously haven't got the temperament to be a lawyer. I'm so sorry. It's just that I'm so nervous today. Oh, that's right. This is your first time in the big leagues, isn't it? Well, never you fear, my dear. I, Marvin Grossberg, am at your service. Actually, this is my second time in court. Still, you surprised me. What with your earnest request last night? Let me handle this case, you suddenly said, and quite forcefully, too. Whoops, I did not mean to skip that. I don't know what she said. What? And you've already learned all the relevant facts? Well, about that, you see, I mean, of course I have, I think. Oh, dear. In any case, don't let our client see you're so nervous. You see the poor young man in that pink sweater over there? That's our client. Hi, Phoenix. Good morning there, everybody. Good morning. Try to keep smiling, Mia. I just want to say, I'll give it all I've got. Yep, it'll be fine. No prob. Oh, what's wrong? Do you have a cold or something? Actually, it's Wright. Like the Flying Brothers? People screw it up all the time. And yes, I have a cold. That's what this mask is for. My doc says this way, I won't give it to anyone else. Be kind to others, he says. Right, Mr. Wright, you have nothing to fear in court today. If you're truly innocent, I promise I will save you. Please let go of my shirt. That's right, he's the one on trial, not you. He's the one who should be nervous. You need to stay strong for your client, Mia. My name is Mia Fey. I'm still pretty new at this lawyer thing. The first time I appeared in court was a year ago. But that trial traumatized me so badly I thought I'd never set foot in another courtroom. It's been 1 year since then, and well, here I am again. But this time... My boss is calling me. Pardon me. I thought I was getting called in. But it wasn't.
What's the matter? What's the matter, Blue? Let me get the eyes. Here. Let's go. Come on. Stay out there till I'm done. Like half an hour.
Okay. But this time I'm going to win. For my client and for myself. Court is now in session for the trial of Phoenix Wright. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense today is Miss Mia Fey, was it? Yes, Your Honor. Is there a problem? I was under the impression that Marvin Grossberg was to be leading the defense. Yes, well, you see, Mr. Grossberg had a bit of an emergency. Emergency? But isn't that him standing right there next to you? Yes, well... You're just a rookie. Are you sure you can really handle this? Don't let him scare you, Mia. Give him your toughest look. Of course, Your Honor. I think. Well, Mr. Payne, your opening statement, please.
Well, well, well. I can't believe a veteran like me has to spend his time babysitting a new defense lawyer. Don't worry, little girl. It'll all be over soon.
What was that all about? Was he trying to trash talk me? Can I make the speed go faster? Whoops. Oh, that's transparency. Nope, I can't make it go faster. Okay.
Now then, I'd like to proceed with a summary of events on the day in question. The incident occurred on the campus of Ivy University. The murder victim was a student named Doug Swallow. He was a fourth-year student studying pharmacology.
It sounds like he was a very bright young man.
Yes, well, next we have a photo taken at the scene of the crime.
Okay, hang on, let's look at this. So, we have a broken power line, which could kill basically anybody. And a parasol or umbrella with a bent handle. I'm pretty sure that it's probably the power line that killed Doug and not Phoenix.
Students discovered the scene shortly after the murder. They found the victim's body and the defendant, who had obviously bungled his getaway. Then they called the police.
That certainly makes the defendant look very suspicious indeed. Very well. The court accepts this photo into the record as evidence. Okay. By the way, I can't quite tell the cause of death from this photo.
Your reputation for sagacity is well earned, Your Honor. The truth is that this victim died a rather unusual death.
An unusual death? What do you mean, Mr. Payne?
Well, perhaps the defense would like to take this question.
Huh?
A simple question. I thought I might loosen you up a bit. I am a genteel man, if you will.
A what? Stand up to him, Mia. Show him what you're made of. Oh, perfect opportunity. Well, what was it? The cause? Go on. Please say you know at least this much. I'm so sorry. I didn't get a chance to read through the whole file. Oh, my hemorrhoids are beginning to act up. Can I not read this? Okay, let's see. Autopsy report says cause of death was a fatal electric shock. Smack him up, Mia. Now see here. The details of the case are filed under the court record. But you knew that already, didn't you? Ah, the court record. I think I can see that by pressing the R button. All of the weapons we need can be found in the court record. Take a good hard look at the data there and think carefully before you answer, my dear. Yes, sir. I'll do just that. I've got to stay calm. I can't let that prosecutor get the better of me. The court record. Okay, let's take a look. I've just pressed the R button here. Now then, would the attorney for the defense please answer the question? What was the cause of death? According to the court record, it was a fatal electric shock. In other words, electrocution. Electrocution? But how could such a thing happen? Did the murderer use some type of new super powerful stun gun, perhaps?
The answer to that will become crystal clear as this trial proceeds, Your Honor. But before that, there is one more vital issue.
What's that?
Why, motive, of course. Apparently, there was some bad blood between the victim and the defendant.
Bad blood?
What do you mean? Oopsie, I'm terribly sorry. You're the defense attorney, so you must know all about it. I shouldn't be stealing your spotlight like this.
I really don't like this guy's smug attitude. That's Winston Payne for you. He is one smooth operator, if you catch my drift. They don't call him the rookie killer for nothing, you know. Now then, let's hear from the defense. What was the source of the bad blood between the victim and the defendant? And this time, I would like to see some supporting evidence. Evidence? No need to get all worked up over this. As I said, all of our weapons can be found in the court record. Find the evidence you need and then shove it into old Greybeard's face. Yes, sir. Into old Greybeard's face. Mr. Grossberg, try to set a better example for the young lady. Mia, evidence isn't the only thing in the court record. People's profiles are as well. You can toggle between profiles and evidence with the R button to be sure to go over it all. Dahlia Hawthorne, Phoenix Wright's girlfriend. Okay. Dated the victim Doug Swallow up until 8 months ago. Okay, so she dated Doug and now she's dating Phoenix? How come we don't hear about her in the current games? Are they not together anymore? Winston Payne, the prosecutor for the trial, a veteran lawyer with a little too much confidence. Okay. Now then, let's see what you've got. What was the cause of the bad blood between Phoenix Wright and the victim? I'm sure it was over Dahlia. The reason for the bad blood between the two of them was this woman here. Dahlia Hawthorne, is it?
Very good, Miss Faye. You seem to have picked up on at least this much. This woman is the girlfriend of the defendant, Phoenix Wright. But up until about 8 months ago, she was with the victim, Mr. Swallow. Clearly, she has some part to play in this story.
Okay. Ah, he's done it again. Before the cross-examination starts, he's already got the judge thinking like he wants. Very well, Mr. Payne, please call your first witness.
If it pleases the court, the prosecution would like to call Mr. Phoenix Wright.
What? The defendant himself? Well, Miss Faye? It's fine. After all, Mr. Wright is innocent, right? The defense has no objection. Very well. The court calls Mr. Phoenix Wright to the witness stand.
Witness, please state your name and occupation.
Oh, yes. My name is Phoenix Wright. My job is, well, right now I guess I'm a suspect. No, he means what did you do before you were arrested? Oh, I was a university student.
Mr. Wright, you understand that you are suspect.
But I didn't do it. I'm innocent, I tell you. I'm telling you, I was... Would the defendant please refrain from passing on his cold to the rest of us?
It seems the witness has something he wants to say.
Well then, Mr. Wright, please tell us about your relation to the victim. Right away, Your Honor. Okay. Oh, sorry. I admit I was there, but I'm not a killer. All I did was find his body. I hardly knew the guy to begin with. I never even talked to that stuck-up British wannabe. I see. So you hardly knew the victim. Right, like I said, I'm not a killer. Looks like the judge understands. You're being naive, you know. Too naive. Huh?
It seems that you've forgotten one small thing, young lady.
And that would be?
This witness still has to undergo something called cross-examination.
Cross-examination? He's right, and it's the defense's duty to carry out the cross-examination. The purpose is to determine if a witness's testimony contains any contradictions. Contradictions? If a witness is lying, their statements will conflict with the court record. But Mr. Wright is my client. Even if he is your client in court, all lies must be struck down. As a lawyer, that is your duty, you see. What does he mean by that? Is he saying that testimony just now? That there was a lie? A contradiction? Well, I mean, it's obvious that the contradiction is that his insult, because if he said he hardly knew the guy, but then he insulted the guy, he obviously knew enough about him to have that opinion. Now then, your cross-examination, if you please, Miss Faye. Please, Mr. Wright, tell me you haven't been lying. You wouldn't do that to me, would you? When you say there, you mean the place where the victim was murdered? Yeah, sort of. The place where something happened anyway.
Something? You can't hide what happened. We have photographic evidence.
Anyway, Mr. Wright, what were you doing at the scene of the crime? I thought you said you didn't know the victim, Mr. Swallow. It was just a coincidence. We bumped into each other by accident. Coincidence, huh? You say you found the body. Who called the police? Huh?
Unfortunately, it was some other students that notified the police.
Other students?
That's correct. They were witnesses. Witnesses who saw the defendant standing there next to the body in shock.
What? Is this true, Mr. Wright?
Could you stop sneezing every time you're in a bind? Well, it's true that I was pretty shocked when I found the body. But I hardly knew the guy to begin with. So you didn't know his face or even his name, right?
Right. Well, no. That is, I mean...
So which is it? Did you know him or not?
Now see here, you can't avoid answering the questions by sneezing all day.
Well, I guess I did know his name. News to me. Why didn't you tell me that before? I heard he used to date Dolly. Dolly? Oh, Dahlia.
Who is this Dolly person?
Yes, that would be the defendant's lover, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
Oh, I see. Ah, young love. So bittersweet.
But that's all I knew about him. I never even talked to that stuck-up British wannabe. Mr. Wright, you stated the following in your testimony. I hardly knew the guy to begin with.
That's right. I mean, why would I even...
But that doesn't sound right. If you hardly knew him, then why would you say that the victim was a stuck-up British wannabe? Well, Mr. Wright...
No, it wasn't me. I'm not a killer, I swear. Mr. Wright, I will give you an opportunity to revise your testimony. How is it that you knew the victim was, as you put it, a British wannabe?
Yes, well... He was always walking around with a huge Union Jack on the back of his shirt. Did you see it at the crime scene? The Union Jack, I mean. Yes, that's right. I saw it at the crime scene. That's why I figured he must love British stuff, see? It's true, cross my heart. I swear I didn't do it. He's acting fishier than the salmon I ate last night.
May I ask you something, Miss Fay?
Yes, Your Honor. What is it now?
Who is this person anyway, this Union Jack fellow?
The Union Jack is the name of the United Kingdom's flag.
Oh, I see. So you mean like the Stars and Stripes, right?
As usual, Your Honor, your insight astounds me. Hey, something just occurred to me. Isn't there something strange about this bit just now? Mia, there is a contradiction here. Mr. Grossberg, quickly now, show that boy you mean business. With evidence, I mean. Okay, Mia, check the court record carefully. Well, my dear, do you think you can manage it on your own from this point? 1 year ago, I was in a courtroom just like this. I can do it. I can handle this myself. You mustn't try to bite off more than you can chew, Mia. I'll be fine. I know what I have to do. Remember, you can always press him to get more information. Oh, and one more thing. When you're going to state a contradiction, make sure you present some definitive proof. Okay, Mia, one more time, from the very beginning of his testimony.
I'm pretty sure I have to show the picture to show that there was no Union Jack.
Are you certain you saw the Union Jack? Yeah, I'm sure. It was right there on his back.
Miss Fay, is there some point to this line of questioning?
Your Honor, please take another look at the crime scene photo. As you can see, there's absolutely nothing on the victim's back. Hey, wait a minute. He's wearing a leather jacket. The Union Jack was on the back of the t-shirt he was wearing. I was under the impression that you accidentally came across the body. But if that was really the case, then you wouldn't know that, would you? You'd have no idea at all what he was wearing underneath that jacket. Mr. Wright, you've been lying to me. Please forgive me. Wow, what a weenie.
Mia, you've made our client cry.
Let him. That P on his chest doesn't stand for Phoenix anyway. I can't believe I trusted him. Mr. Wright was all wrong. That was an impressive bit of cross-examination. Thank you for uncovering the defendant's lies for me. It's quite clear that this man did not simply stumble upon the scene of the crime.
Uh-oh. Did I go too far?
By the way, Mr. Wright, you seem to have a rather bad cold. Have you taken any medicine for it?
Yeah, I took some, but...
Was the medicine that you took an over-the-counter brand called Cold Killer X?
Yeah, that's right. It kills colds good. Hey, wait a second. How did you know I'm a big fan of Cold Killer X?
Would you happen to have that medicine with you right now?
Well, actually, I seem to have lost it somewhere. He lost it? Does this have anything to do with the case?
Mr. Wright, shall I tell you where your cold medicine is right now?
Huh?
Your Honor, I'd like you to have a look at another photo from the crime scene.
What's this? In the victim's hand, it's Cold Killer X. No thanks, what? Yes, but even I've got a bottle of Cold Killer X in my apartment.
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid that argument won't work. There's no doubt as to who this bottle of Cold Killer X belongs to, especially since Mr. Wright's fingerprints are all over it.
What?
Sensing his murderous intent, Mr. Swallow must have picked up the bottle of medicine.
Oh, I see.
Dropped by Mr. Wright and hid it in his hand. His purpose in doing so can only have been to identify his killer as Phoenix Wright.
Order in the court.
Your Honor, I'd like to present this photo and bottle as evidence.
Very well, the court will accept them into the record. I need to prove that wrist is Phoenix's.
Also, the victim's wristwatch was broken.
Oh, I see. Broken?
Yes, it ceased functioning when a large wave of electricity passed through it. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have some kind of explanation for all of this?
Ugh. This is really bad. Oh, my buttocks. My poor hemorrhoids. Grossberg, please! The truth is, I went because he called me. He was in the pharmacology department, so we agreed to meet at 2:45 behind that building. We talked for a bit, and then at around 3, we split up. Then later, when I went back, I found him lying there. I'd been taking Cold Killer X for the last 2 or 3 days, but I'd lost my bottle of it around lunchtime on the day of the accident. Mr. Wright, that's completely different from the testimony you gave previously. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I was afraid you wouldn't believe the truth.
You'll forgive me if I say I hardly find your current testimony any more credible.
Miss Fay, please begin your cross-examination. Oh, please, Mr. Wright, don't tell any more lies. Had you ever met the victim before then? No, never. But that day he called me up and told me he wanted to talk about Dolly. And this Dolly person is my, it's kind of embarrassing. She's my, sweetheart. What was that for, Mia? Oh, I'm so sorry. I just felt like slapping something all of a sudden. What? What is that? What? Why would she slap something because Phoenix said that was his sweetheart? I don't understand.
Dahlia Hawthorne, who was also the lover of the murder victim, Doug Swallow. Before she met Mr. Wright, that is.
So it was one of those nasty love triangles, I see. He was in the pharmacology department, so we agreed to meet at 2:45. Was it Mr. Swallow who indicated that you should meet at 2:45? Yeah, and we were both there right on time. You said the victim was in the pharmacology department, correct? Yeah, he was studying how to manufacture and improve pharmaceuticals. Everyone called him the alchemist of IVU. An alchemist, I see. I gotta admit it was a little suspicious. He had a whole laboratory and everything. It was filled with chemicals and strange machines that run on high voltage electricity. Oh, how fascinating. He sounds like he was quite an ambitious young man. do I do? Maybe I should ask him for some more details? I was wondering if you could tell us a bit more about the pharmacology department. Well, okay, sure. I don't know all that much, though. A little bit earlier in your testimony, you said something interesting. You said the department uses strange machines that run on high-voltage electricity. That's right, and they sure look dangerous. They use non-standard voltages, so there are high-voltage cables everywhere. High-voltage cables? Yeah, there were electrical poles set up all around the building. The high-voltage cables run overhead around the roof. Finally, I think we're getting somewhere. So what was it you were talking about? You know, that maybe we should hang out again sometime. Hang out again sometime? I wish that were true. I'm confused because in one of the things when we pressed it said he wanted to talk about Dahlia. And then he was like, oh, we talked about how we should hang out. Which one was it? So you say you went back? Yeah, that's when I found the body. Yes, but why did you go back in the first place? Weren't you angry with him? Well, that's right, I was. Then why, Mr. Wright? Why did you go back there? I thought maybe we could make up. Judging by the atmosphere, I'm pretty sure no one is buying this. I'm sure he meant make out. I've been taking Cold Killer X. Okay. It's rather unusual to catch a cold this time of the year, isn't it? Yeah, I always get a little careless when the weather starts to warm up. I guess I shouldn't sleep with the window open this early in spring, huh? I suppose common sense is not always common. So, did anyone else know that you were taking cold medicine? Well, I always took one after meals, so I'm pretty sure all my friends knew about it. But I lost my bottle of it around lunchtime on the day of the accident. On the day of the incident, what did you do for lunch? Huh? What does that have to do with anything? You can never be too sure. I always eat with Dolly, just the two of us. Dolly's homemade lunches are just the greatest. Her mini omelets are magically delicious. Ouch, why did you punch me in the jaw? Oh, I'm sorry. I just felt like hurting someone all of a sudden. What is wrong with Mia? I think that's enough for now. So the defendant and the victim meet at approximately the time of his death. And then the defendant returned to the scene for some unknown reason. I'm not entirely convinced by his explanation about the medicine bottle either. Let me be frank here, Mr. Wright. Your testimony cannot be trusted. What do you mean? I knew it was too much work for a little girl. However, there is one mystery that still remains. There is, Your Honor? How the murder was carried out, of course. Just how was the victim electrocuted? I don't believe the murder weapon has been produced yet, correct? Well, that is... You are correct, Your Honor. So how exactly was Mr. Swallow killed? If I could somehow establish how it was done, maybe I could still come out of this mess smelling like a rose. Your Honor? Yes, Miss Fay? I believe that if we were to piece together everything we've heard up until now, we should be able to solve the mystery of how Mr. Swallow died. That would be most impressive. Quite the brash statement coming from a rookie. But even a beginner like you must understand the basic rules of the court, yes? An attorney must be able to substantiate their arguments with evidence. Of course I know that. Actually, I had totally forgotten about that. Now then, Miss Fay, let's see what you've got. Show me how you believe the victim was electrocuted. So this was so it was 3:05 when the watch stopped, right? That's how it works. 3:05, yeah. I believe he was electrocuted with this wire here. I'm gonna try.
As for the cause of death, I'd say this picture captures it quite well.
What? But there's nothing that even remotely resembles a murder weapon here. I'm afraid the defense is going to have to explain this in a bit more detail. Miss Faye, where exactly in this photo is the murder weapon?
It's right here. Well, naturally, it's right here.
What is that?
A severed electrical cable, I believe, Your Honor. Remember the testimony we've heard. The machines the pharmacology students use in their experiments require high voltage, and because of that, there are special high voltage cables strung up everywhere.
So then the high voltage cable.
Yes, the high voltage cable is the cause of death. That is the most likely explanation.
That certainly sounds plausible. Well, Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this?
Well, I believe some praise is in order. Don't toy with me, old man. Now, the victim's cause of death may indeed have been a high voltage cable. However, I want you to think about what that really implies. The only one who had the opportunity to use the cable as a murder weapon was the defendant.
That much is certainly true.
Yes, and that's not all. We have proof. Irrefutable proof that will establish that Mr. Wright was the murderer.
You do? Well, what is it?
His fingerprints.
Fingerprints? You mean that the defendant's fingerprints were on something besides the medicine bottle?
Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. As you can see, the victim is wearing a leather jacket. And as you may know, leather holds fingerprints quite well. Ah, you mean... Yes, it was quite clearly imprinted on the chest area of the victim's jacket. The palm print of the defendant's very own hand.
What? Why would you withhold that info until now?
I can only think of one way Mr. Wright could have left a print like that. Intent on murder, he squarely pushed the victim toward the severed electrical cable.
Order! That's enough. I think we can conclude that there is no reason to continue with this cross-examination. Stick a fork in us, we're done. Mr. Grossberg, my hemorrhoids never lie. The show is over, Mia. I knew that boy was guilty the first time I saw him.
No, you're wrong. Mr. Wright is innocent.
No further evidence is required to convince me of this man's guilt.
Your Honor.
At this time, I am prepared to render a verdict in this case.
So he's always being dumb in the court.
Do you have something further to add, Miss Faye?
Is this what you want, Mr. Wright? You still haven't told us the truth. The whole truth. If you don't say something now, the judge is going to hand down his verdict.
But I can't just say it. If I told you what really happened, then I'd be...
It's okay, Mr. Wright. I'm your attorney. You can trust me.
Miss Faye.
No matter what it is you have to say, I believe in you and I'll represent you to the very end. We've already established the defendant's guilt. There's no further need for him to say anything.
Wait a minute.
Mr. Wright,
I'll tell you what really happened.
But I've already told you, Mr. Wright, there's no need for further...
I did it. I'll admit it, I pushed him. It's my fault. My fault that Doug Swallow is dead. That girl, you shouldn't see her anymore.
Hey, it's none of your business. I'm telling you for your sake, if you continue to see her, it's gonna be bad news. You're lying! Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl.
Stop it! Don't talk about her like that. Kamehameha! What you just said, was that the truth?
Yes, I was afraid. Afraid that if I told the truth, everyone would think I was the murderer for sure.
Well, as things currently stand, we're all absolutely convinced you are.
Please give me one more chance to explain. This time, I swear I'll tell the whole truth. I'll be okay. It'll be okay, won't it, Miss Faye?
I believe in you. Oh, thank you. Still can't believe it. He really did push the victim. Feels like my hemorrhoids are doing the Harlem Shake. Go to the bathroom, Grossberg! Gosh. That guy. He was talking bad about Dolly. I lost my temper and gave him a shove. At that moment, I heard some kind of loud noise. A little while after I left, I started to get worried. So I went back, but he was just lying there dead. Well, the explanation is really quite simple. And the explanation is that I'm going to call it here. Haha, got him. Dang, what a tease. Yeah, I'm unfortunately running out of time. I have to do a couple chores real quick before my mom gets home from work. So I am going to have to cut it here. I know it's pretty short for an Ace Attorney stream. Only about 41 minutes. But thank you for joining me for both Pokemon and Ace Attorney today. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of the week. Hope and pray for snow for me next week so that I can potentially stream again. Take some extra time to do that. I think that would be super fun. Stay safe, stay healthy. Happy New Year to everybody who's watching this, watches this later, or watches this even later on YouTube. I hope it's a wonderful year full of blessings for you, and fun things and new opportunities, and that your families and loved ones are safe and healthy. So I'll catch you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.